nice crunchy flour tortilla. That's so good. Very good. That pickled slaw is amazing. And the pork belly it's so moist. It's really, really good. Y'all are gonna like these. So today I'm going to make a marinade for some pork belly because I plan on making some pork belly tacos tomorrow. So this is a marinade that's real quick and easy to make. It does have quite a bit of ingredients though. And you just pour it over some pork belly in a Ziploc bag, put it in your refrigerator and marinate it overnight. And then you start the cooking process for the pork belly. So this is actually a really long process, but it's so worth it because these pork belly tacos are amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the marinade, and then tomorrow I'll make another video showing you how I actually make the pork belly tacos. So just an FYI, you can find this pork belly maybe at your supermarket. It's not at ours, so I actually have to go to an Asian supermarket where I can get some really good cuts of pork belly. And all pork belly is, you guys, is just bacon, basically. It's the part of the pig where you get your bacon from. So it's really thick pieces. It's super fatty, but when you cook it down, all those juices penetrate the meat, and it's just so good. Tastes really good over like ramen, really good just over rice. So there's so many things you can do with it, but we're gonna do tacos. So I will show you how to get the marinade going. So follow along, lots of ingredients. The base of the marinade is going to be soy sauce. So I've mentioned this before, Aloha soy sauce, absolutely love it. I don't measure anything, so please forgive me with these estimates. I'm just guessing, but I'm gonna assume that I'm probably, for this amount of pork belly, which is roughly, this is about 4 pounds of pork belly, I'm probably going to use about 2 cups of soy sauce. I'm eyeballing it, guys. I might even need to add more, we'll see. You are going to have to add water, so let me get the water. Okay, so I did measure this out for you. 2 cups of water, so 2 cups of soy sauce, 2 cups of water. Now everything else is not gonna be measured out. So this is brown sugar. So I would estimate this is probably about a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup. Then we are going to do some olive oil, eyeballing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just about there. And you really can't go wrong. I eyeball all of this because you're gonna taste it and you're gonna keep adding stuff, and so just kind of keep an eye on it and just go as you please. The only thing that I would probably be careful with is your seasoning. Soy sauce is very salty, so you don't want to add any seasonings in here that have a lot of high salt content because you're gonna have a super salty marinade. All right, so rice vinegar, just a little bit of that. That's probably maybe a tablespoon. And then some white wine vinegar. Probably another tablespoon. And then this is some garlic puree. You can probably use garlic paste, or you can use fresh garlic, just mince it. But I find that the garlic puree is actually very flavorful. So it's a lot of garlic. So probably about 2 tablespoons of the garlic puree. And then sesame oil. So this is what I will say, be careful with. Sesame oil is very strong. So literally I would probably say a 1/2 tablespoon of that. Maybe a little bit more, but that's it. And then we are going to do 1 fresh squeezed lime. Gotta add your acid in there. And 1 fresh squeezed lemon. And then you can use fresh ginger. I actually ran out of fresh ginger, so I have some ground ginger. So I'm gonna put some ground ginger in here. Probably about half a tablespoon of that. And then some white pepper. Probably about another half a tablespoon, I don't know. And then some fresh cut green onions. So you actually need quite a bit of green onion. I actually cut up a whole bunch, like a whole entire 1 bunch of green onion. All right, so now you're going to whisk it. Notice I didn't add any salt because, again, soy sauce is already salty. And we don't want this to be a salty marinade. We want it to be like a combination of salty and sweet. And you want to make sure you get that brown sugar in there really, really good. You can also use white sugar, like white granulated sugar. I've found that that actually tastes really good too. But I'm going to use some brown sugar. So let's taste just a little bit so we can see what we need to add. I'm trying not to get too much green onion. I don't want a big chunk of green onion. It's perfect. So I wouldn't add anything else to that. Then just pour it into your bag with the pork belly. You want the marinade to completely cover your pork belly so that you don't have to toss it and turn it overnight. Make sure you put this in a bowl so that your marinade doesn't spill out on accident, and then pop it in the fridge overnight or roughly 6 to 8 hours. Mine is actually going to marinate overnight and then part of the day. So this is safe to marinate in your refrigerator for probably up to about 12 hours and it'll be just fine. It'll probably actually taste better if you do that. So let's get this in the fridge and get these pork belly tacos started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make the cucumber slaw for the pork belly tacos. I have already thinly sliced an English cucumber. I used a whole English cucumber. I have also thinly sliced some red onion, a whole red onion, and then I just bought a bag of the matchstick carrots. You can julienne your own carrots, but this is just so much easier. I used about a half of the bag. So about a half a bag of matchstick carrots, 1 whole red onion, and 1 whole English cucumber. So I'm going to set that aside for now. And we're going to go ahead and make the vinegar mixture for the pickling of the slaw. So I'm going to go ahead and do, again, I don't really measure. So it's roughly, I guess, about 3/4 cups of water. Then I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. And then I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. And then I'm going to do about 3 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. And then I am going to do about 2 tablespoons of salt. And then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper. You could do maybe 1 tablespoon if you don't like it as spicy, but as you know me, I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. You could do a half a tablespoon if you don't like it as spicy, but you know me, I like it really spicy. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 tablespoon. I'm going to add a little bit more white wine vinegar and a little bit more red wine vinegar. Again, I just eyeball everything. And then I'm going to whisk. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my vegetables. So once you get this added in, you're gonna wanna let it sit for at least 30 minutes in the refrigerator to allow for that pickling process to happen. The vinegar is going to get into your veggies real nicely, especially since you cut everything really thin. This pickling process is going to happen really fast. So the longer you let it sit, the better it's going to taste, but also the spicier it's going to get because of the crushed red pepper. So just be cautious of that. What I like to do is, we obviously won't use this whole entire mixture for this one, meal. So I put mine in a mason jar and I put it in the refrigerator and save it for a couple of weeks and use it for various different dishes. These taste really good with some fish tacos and whatever else that you make. Any Korean dishes or anything like that, it'll taste good. So you're gonna want to just mix it. You can put your hands in there and mix it up really good, and then just cover it up, stick it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So for some toppings, additional toppings, we're going to chop up some fresh cilantro, we're gonna slice up some limes, and we are going to dice some avocados. I'll show you what that looks like. So your limes should look like this, cilantro, and then your diced avocado. After you took your pork belly out of the oven, you should put it in a some type of container and put it in the fridge and let it cool completely. You want it to be extremely, extremely cold, because what we're going to do now is I took a few pieces and we're going to slice these. And you want it to be cold when you do it, and you want to make sure all of those juices were trapped inside of the meat. So do not rush on this process. You have to make sure that it's completely cold. So we're just going to cut a few slices. You want it maybe about that thick. It's probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. You don't want it really thin. You want it to be some nice, good, meaty pieces. And because it's cold, it will cut extremely easily because you're cutting through basically cold fat and meat like you would be doing bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and get these chopped up, and then I'll show you what to do next. Right, let's see what these bad boys taste like. Put a little lime on there. And then nice crunchy flour tortilla. Right. Tag me if you make these.